Okay, so today we're going back to 2014.
Oh, yeah.
The Slender Man stabbing.
Mm.
Do you remember Slender Man?
Yeah,
It
vaguely.
was that creepy internet legend.
Right.
Stalking children and all that.
Yeah.
Well, in Waukesha, Wisconsin, this fictional boogeyman,
Mm-hmm.
he sort of jumped off the screen.
Oh, wow.
Two 12-year-old girls, Morgan Geyser and Anissa Weir, they lured their friend,
Okay.
Peyton Leutner, into the woods
Oh, God.
and stabbed her
Really?
19 times.
Wow.
It was a huge case back then.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Everyone was talking about it,
Yeah.
about the internet and how it affects young people.
Right.
Today, we're going to look at this story again,
Okay.
especially the recent news about Morgan Geyser.
Mm.
He's been released from a mental health facility.
Interesting.
What do you think is the most relevant part of this case?
Well, it's hard to say.
Okay.
But this case, it really got people thinking about the internet,
Right.
like how it affects us,
Uh-huh.
especially kids. We're talking years before all the crazy stuff,
Yeah.
like viral challenges and misinformation.
Right.
Like this creepypasta stuff you've got here. Yeah, that's all about Slender Man.
Exactly.
This
But
case kind of showed us what was coming.
like a warning.
Yeah, in a way.
Like this whole thing became a creepypasta itself.
Right.
Blurring those lines between online and real life.
Exactly.
So how do we even begin to understand
Oh,
how the internet affects
it's tough.
young minds?
Especially.
Yeah, separating fact from fiction.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Especially in this case.
Right.
They really believed
It seems like it.
that Slender Man was real,
Uh-huh.
that they had to please him.
To protect themselves and
Yeah.
their families?
Exactly what in your research sort of explains how they got to that point.
Well, the sources all say the same thing.
Okay.
Both of these girls, they spend hours and hours
Wow.
consuming Slender Man stuff,
Okay.
reading stories,
Right.
looking at pictures,
Mm-hmm.
even making up their own stories.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like they built their own world
yeah,
where Slender Man was totally real.
that's frightening.
Yeah, it is.
And they were tried as adults,
Right.
which is kind of unusual.
It is for their age.
What were the arguments there for and against it?
Well, the prosecutors, they focused on how brutal it was
Okay.
and how planned out it was.
Right.
They said the girls knew what they were doing,
Uh-huh.
knew it was wrong,
Okay.
and they should be punished as adults.
And the defense,
Well,
the defense said, look, these are kids. Their
Yeah.
brains aren't fully developed.
Right?
And there might be mental health issues too. They argued for a different approach,
Yeah.
the juvenile justice system.
Makes sense. So both girls, they were charged with attempted murder.
Right. First degree attempted intentional homicide.
Wow. But after that, their cases went in different directions.
Yeah, they did.
What happened with Weir?
So she made a deal.
Okay.
It admitted to a lesser charge
Okay.
and ended up getting 25 years. Okay.
In a psychiatric facility.
Right. And she was released.
Yeah, back in 2021 under supervision.
So his case is more complicated.
It is because of the schizophrenia diagnosis.
Right. How much did his mental state actually influence his actions?
Well, the sources say it was a big part of his defense.
Okay.
The experts, they testified that his delusions
Uh-huh.
and his bad judgment from the illness
Okay.
led him to believe in Slender Man
Right.
and that he had to appease him.
So the verdict was,
Not guilty by reason of mental disease.
wow.
And he was sentenced to 40 years in a mental health facility.
Okay. And then recently,
Yeah,
Morgan Geyser, who now identifies as male,
right. Uses he, him pronouns.
was granted conditional release.
That's right.
And that's caused quite a stir.
Oh, yeah, a lot of debate.
His psychologist, Brooke Lundbaum,
Mm-hmm.
she testified that he's not a threat anymore.
That's right.
But Peyton Leutner's family,
Yeah,
they're concerned.
of course.
Understandably so.
Absolutely.
So it's this whole debate about public safety versus his right to reintegration.
Yeah, a real ethical dilemma.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's hard.
Yeah.
There are no easy answers.
Right.
The justice system has to keep everyone safe.
Uh-huh.
But also think about individual rights, treatment, and reintegration.
Right.
It's about balancing things, compassion with accountability.
Especially in a case like this.
Yeah, involving mental illness.
So what happens now?
So for now, Geyser will be closely monitored.
Yep.
He'll stay at Winnebago Mental Health Institute
Right.
until they figure out a long-term plan.
Okay.
Probably a group home setting.
Okay.
He'll have an ankle monitor.
This story, it's really something else.
It is.
From the internet
Sure.
to the human mind
Mhm.
to our justice system.
Yeah.
It leaves you with a lot to think about.
It really does.
Can someone who did something so violent,
Mm-hmm.
even if it was because of mental illness and all this internet stuff,
Right.
truly be rehabilitated?
That's the question.
And can they ever really be safely reintegrated?
It's a tough one.
What does rehabilitation even mean in this case?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? This case, it makes us rethink things.
Yeah.
Responsibility,
Right.
the power of belief,
Uh-huh.
punishment versus rehabilitation.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is.
Thanks for breaking it all down.
You're welcome.
And for our listeners, keep thinking about this case.
It's important.
It raises so many questions.
It really does.
About the internet, mental health,
Yes.
and our justice system.
Absolutely.
Until next time.
See you then.